NASA recently released data showing global surface temperatures at the warmest levels recorded since 1880 in 2015. This is being touted as rock-solid proof that man-made global warming is progressing. Researchers at the National Space Science Technology Center, partially funded by NASA, have data that put 2015 in third place, trailing well behind their warmest year in the top 5, 1998. But we can't make a direct comparison between the two studies because they measure different things. Dr. John Christy from the National Space Science Technology Center explains.
Generally, the layer we look at is the surface to 50,000 feet. So if you're flying in a jet aircraft, it's all the air below you and some above.
Why does Dr. Christy's group not just use surface data like other researchers?
Because a surface station only represents a very localized area. And so, though there might be 20,000 stations out there taking temperature, they only represent 20,000 local places. And vast areas of the ocean, for example, or Africa, South America are not represented. So it's, in my view, it's less than half of the globe.
In contrast, the satellite-based microwave sensors they use cover nearly 98% of the globe. So the surface is intensely warming, but the layer of air from the surface up to 50,000 feet is warming at a much slower pace. Confused? You're not alone.
The deep atmosphere should be warming faster than the surface. So we have some ideas about that we tested, and they seem to work, is that many of the surface stations are not exposed properly, that they've had things built up around them, the urbanization and so on. That has sort of infected the ground stations with the wrong kind of signal.
This influence is called the urban heat island.
Well, in a place where there is vegetation, you have a cooler system because the plants are really water coolers. If you think about it, they transpire water in the atmosphere, evaporate, make it cooler. But when you have concrete and roads and so on, you don't have that process going on. So the sunlight just heats up those surfaces, and that heat is expelled into the atmosphere, making it warmer.
When pressed for a prediction of global temperatures in the coming decades, Dr. Christy thinks their measurements provide a good guide.
That trend has been fairly steady for a long time, of about 1/10 of a degree to 1/1500th of a degree Celsius per decade. So I'd say we're looking at about 1 to 1.5 degrees over 100 years, which is not much of a change.